Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Glory Today show. How are your good people doing? I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. So, listen, today Thursday, Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, and this is our Wednesday night show. And we've had a very busy weekend, and also had a wedding yesterday. So, it still really need to really calm down, and rest a little bit. But we'll do that after the show. So, guys, welcome back to the show. My name is Glory. I'm your host of today, and together with the Glory Today team, we just wish you an amazing show time. We wish us an amazing week so far. I hope you've done what you always have to do by supporting us, is sharing the link with friends and family, liking and subscribing on our channel, because throughout the show, I don't really ask you to do that anymore. I just get focusing on the content, on the topic we'll be talking about today. So as you're watching us, whether you're watching us live or you're watching us later, I encourage you to let us know what you think about the show, and keep showing us love. Keep showing us love and support as you do. So today, I have a couple of updates that I want to share with you guys. And these updates, they have to do with the last shows that we had. And the last shows that we had, we spoke about is the situation here in the Netherlands concerning the Schurk van Urk. And we had on our previous show, we had somebody who asked a question about that. How is it? What's going on with that situation with the Schurk van Urk? How is that going? So, and I promised to look into it, and every time there's an update, I did promise to do my best to always bring an update whenever update is. So I have an update concerning the situation of Schurk van Urk. I had received a message pertaining to this particular situation, and the message is from a trustee, somebody that I trust very much, who has been a victim of this particular situation, of this particular, how can I call him, Sular, if you may allow me to call me that, because the situation of this person is really this of Schurk van Urk has touched many people, has touched many souls. So let's see if I can read. So this, let me one second, because I'm multitasking today, and that is a bit hilarious. Will this play? Hey. No, this is not gonna do what I want it to do. Is it easy? No. So basically, I received a message concerning the Schurk van Urk, and the message itself is quite interesting, because I received it from a trust source, and they were explaining to us what's going on so far with the Schurk van Urk. What is the situation at hand, and what is the situation? So now, this is what the message said. Without further ado, let me just read to you, guys, the message. Bring it on the screen if you may. The message said, Goedemiddag, good afternoon. This weekend, so I'm going to read it it's in Dutch, but I'm going to read it in English for you guys, okay? So it says, this afternoon, we got to hear that Daniel, who is the Schurk van Urk, he ran away. He disappeared. He ran away to Africa. The dude ran away to Africa. So my African people, you're watching this show, and you know this situation. I think I'm going to post this video on Facebook and let my African people to watch out, because you're not going to bring your European nonsense and go and take it all the way to Africa and think Africa is a place where you can just hide yourself and continue doing your chiki majika chika. We're not going to have it. So the dude ran away to Africa, apparently, and putting my phone into silence because I've forgotten. He ran away to he ran away to Africa last week Thursday. Not this Thursday, not this week, not like today's Thursday, but a week ago. A week ago Thursday, dude ran away to Africa. Hij is donderdag weggegaan. He left on Thursday. Daniel heeft ons hier niet zelf over informeren. He did not inform us himself about this, maar dit is aan zijn oudste zoon overgelaten. But he left this responsibility to his son. What a man. Ook krijg ik de bericht van via zijn buurvrouw te horen. That's okay. Also, the person also received a message from the neighbor of the SCHRUK van Urk that he ran away to Africa, and he left behind a rent of about 6 months. So he had not paid his rent for about 6 months. This is the person that we are dealing with here. So if you do not know the situation, you're wondering what's going on here, you should check out my previous show, because we were able to elaborate on a story about the SCHRUK van Urk. Okay? En hij heeft het huis zo achter gelaten, vol met meubels en troep. So he also left the house just the way it was, packed with all kind of stuff and all kind of mess. Vond het wel netjes om jou hierover te informeren. Vooral dat ze erg veel duur waren. Oh my God. I think take this message off screen for a minute for me. I'm just going to have to read it, because this is crazy. So basically, it's also saying, understanding for his neighbor, that there's been a lot of how can I say, debt collectors that have been at his door, and he just they say he just ran away. So the advice here, you do not need to fear him anymore, but the advice is to block him on all kind of social media communications, so that does not get in touch with the person. Okay, it's impossible to believe, because this dude apparently has all kind of plans in Africa, like so-called business plan. He's not a person to trust, really, to enter business with. So he has a kind of idea of businesses, but from experience, from the information that I've shared with you guys on this channel, we're able to understand that this is not a person you want to enter business with. This is not a person you want to trust, really, because he's a PM. He presents himself like a sheep, but he's a wolf in sheep clothing. Het is allemaal gewoon, okay, it's impossible to believe. And the idea that he has gone, yeah, he still has to land, and this person is very scared about all these things that he has created, the things that he has done. That's why he ran away. Okay. Yep. So that's the updates on the SCHRUK van Urk, guys. The dude has ran away to Africa. Like all of them, like people who are involved in this type of behavior, this type of shenanigan, they often run away to certain countries, whether it's Asia, Africa, or even the Bahamas islands, or even highlands. So that's the situation, okay? Now let's move on to the next topic of today, topic du jour. We also, actually, it's not a topic of today yet. Now, the situation that we were talking about, speaking of real conversation, we're going to just dive a little bit deep into the topic we spoke about on the previous show concerning the Macrons versus Candace Owens. Concerning the Macron versus Candace Owens. Now, there is a guy, if you do not know him, his name is Piers Morgan. And Piers Morgan, he is a British American, because I think he's a British, but lives in the US, or he has a house in the US as well. And he has a Piers Morgan Uncensored show, and he invited Candace Owens. And obviously, we're going to take a look on this conversation with Candace Owens concerning what? Concerning the Macron. I think this is also a very, very interesting conversation, guys. You're watching us, welcome. And I would like us to, I'm just bringing you guys certain information that you might not be privy to, that you might not have access to, so that you understand a bit what's going on around us. And then nothing we share here is in the spirit of fear. We share it, we're trying to shine as much light as possible on every situation we share. Even though we share it first we need to share you. We need to inform you first, and then after that, we need to give you a little bit of an idea on how to handle or to deal with this information by the grace of God, okay? Yep. excited for the show today. The Schurk van Erke is a Schurk, really, for sure. He's a villain. So let's take a look at this communication between Candace Owens, or this interview, conversation between Candace Owens and Piers Morgan, guys. Check this out.
Now, Candace, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Piers?
I'm good. Are you a woman?
I am, in fact, a woman, and I certainly would never sue someone to prove to the world that that is a fact. I would probably be laughing.
Well, how can you prove to me you're a woman if I don't believe you?
I wouldn't have to. You could do 18 hours of a show saying that I was living as a man for 30 years. And the easiest thing for me to do, obviously, would be to just release pictures of me living, yearbooks, me on the cheerleading team, me pregnant, me with my children, raising my children, long before if I ever got to the point where I thought that I needed to launch a lawsuit. I would.
This kind of, for me, also from Piers Morgan, this is it's kind of a mockery. She is just really doing sort of a, in my opinion, like mocking the fact that Candace Owens questioned Brigitte Macron for being a woman. So now I think it's funny, but I think obviously it's a clickbait. He's doing this to Candace Owens so that somebody out there will take this video, click it, copy it, post it online, and with the question, is Candace Owens a woman? So all these words for him is all about what? It's just a show, really.
Would probably just release a few photos if we're playing devil's advocate here.
But ultimately, the easiest and quickest and best way to prove to me that you're a woman, and I'm not disputing that you're a woman, I think you probably are. I know you like to cast doubt on people's gender and sexuality, so I'll just leave it floating, hoping that someone in the internet world grabs it and makes me tons of money with a, is Candace male or female?
As I said, that was his purpose.
But my point is this, you would be able to prove it to me by taking a simple sex test, right? You would just say, here we are, here are the results, here's the sex test. That's the best way to do this, right?
Actually, because we were in communication with her legal team long before she launched this website, we never asked for something that deep. We literally gave her a list of 21 yes or no questions and asked her to just answer it on the record. Also offered to fly over to Paris and interview Brigitte to get her side of the story. Before we even launched the first episode of the Becoming Brigitte series, we were in communication and offered them a chance to rebut. And they came back and said, we don't have to submit anything to prove that she is a woman, and we don't want to answer your questions. I've published.
Basically, if you're just joining us, this is the situation between Candace Owens and Macron, and Macron, Brigitte, and Macron. What's the name of the president of France? Again. What's the name of president of France? Imagine, that's how important it is. So they went and sued Candace Owens. So Brigitte Macron is married with the president of France, and apparently Candace Owens did a documentary based on the book written by French journalist, and the book is called Becoming Brigitte. And this book, you have to understand, was written not in the purpose of attacking Brigitte Macron, but when she became the president, thank you very much, when she became the the wife, of Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, when she became the first lady of France, it is a tradition that a journalist will try to write a memoir or a storybook, whatever. They're trying to dig as much as information about you as they can find. So in that process of those journalists trying to find as much information about what? About Brigitte Macron as the, how can I say? As the wife of Emmanuel Macron. As they were busy trying to find that information, apparently to the journalists' biggest surprise, and these are journalists who are pro the Macron. These are the, you might call them the Democrats of the US. You know, they were pro the Macron, really. They wanted to promote them. They wanted to worship them and just put them out there. But then as they were searching, they could not find much evidence according to Candace Owens. allegedly that they could not find much information on the Macron. So, and the insanity about this whole situation, guys, because as I said, today we're going to have like heart-to-heart conversation. So the insanity of all this situation is really it shows you that how can a president of another country, a president of a nation, go as far as attacking, well, go as far as trying to, let me change attacking, go as far as trying to silence a podcaster, a journalist, a content creator from another country, just because that content creator asked a question concerning his wife. It does not make sense. I mean, this actually is also a representation of what's happening here in Europe. Because in Europe, you have to understand that we don't have as much freedom as those in the United States have. The United States, they have things like First and Second Amendments. And those are those shield them sometime. And the lawsuit that was that they initiated against Candace Owens because of the question she asked is a show, really. It's not something to celebrate, but it's an attack to a freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of even saying your mind. Because if I call you a goat, it doesn't necessarily make you a goat. Literally, all you just have to stand up and say, well, if I was a goat, as far as last time I checked, I was a human being. So if I was a goat, then you are a goat. Because, you know what I'm saying? So there's no need for me to go to court and bring the court into it. And Candace Owens is going to explain to us a little bit about why she believes the Macron are making the biggest mistakes of their life.
Published those legal letters. It's the reason why people that watch this series are just not believing the media when they pretend that this was like, oh, Candace wanted the blood of the first lady. No. Also, she's not suing. Obviously, my series was based on a book entitled Becoming Brigitte that I did alongside the journalist who worked on the story for 10 years. She's not suing him for defamation, but she is suing him for cyberbullying, which is really, if you read through the lawsuit against me, they are misrepresenting the things that I've said, taking them out of context, and pretty much smearing me in the process by pretending that we asked something extraordinary by saying we won't run this entire series if you can just show us a few photos of you living in this 30-year period.
Right. I think photos can be easily manipulated. We know that in the modern era.
Say it again. Now, so if you understand what Candace Owens said, it's quite profound. But the questions of Piers Morgan, he's a journalist, so he has the freedom as well as much as to ask the question that you want to ask. But it's a bit peculiar. It's really a bit peculiar. Listen.
I just think a sex test is definitive. And the reason I'm asking you this is because I'm assuming, maybe I'm completely wrong, maybe I'm the deluded one here, I don't think so, but I'm assuming the only reason that Brigitte Macron and her husband, who's the president of France, are coming after you personally in American courts for defamation is that they know all they have to do to completely refute your entire conspiracy theory.
But you have to understand, guys, I'm so sorry. You have to understand that the situation here is not about conspiracy theory from Candace Owens, but the situation started already long time ago, almost like 10 years ago in France. So it is not a new thing what's going on here. The only difference is that Candace Owens is quite big. So when she touched the story just blew up big time. That's the only difference. But this situation has been going on a long time ago. So for the Macron to say that, for Piers Morgan to say that all they have to do just to prove that Candace Owens is spewing nonsense, they should have done that a long time ago. They could have done that 10 years ago if they were able to. Let's listen again.
Which is what they say it is they just have to prove she's a woman. If she's a woman, and she's had 3 children, miraculously, and I know I've seen your slightly torturous explanation for how she's managed to secretly have 3 kids, and it wasn't her, and she's a man, but I've seen what you've said. But ultimately, if she proves she's a woman, which is very easily provable, your whole case just implodes, doesn't it?
Well, Piers, it sounds like you're on our side. It's been 10 years of the press saying that she was born a woman. She's sued people for cyberbullying. She's sued people for speaking wrong about a document. And yet the easiest path would have just been to simply release photos from 30 years of your life. That is why this is unbelievable. You're also, I think, largely misrepresenting my series. You showed only clips of me discussing things after the lawsuit, but you didn't actually show anything from my series. I don't think my series has gripped the entire world and caused a global leader to get on a plane and beg President Trump to shut me up because I'm just sitting there going, la, 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 she looks like a woman in a wig. No. It's a very serious subject, actually, Piers. And if you watched even the first episode of the Becoming Brigitte series, you'll understand there's an entire network of pedo criminals that are surrounding the Macrons. They have had...
Okay, just before she continues with that, into that line of wording, there's something I want to share with you guys. Today is a personal, we're going to have heart-to-heart conversation. So myself, for those who knows me, they understand where I come from. And this, I'm here trying to defend the Macron, believe it or not. I'm trying to defend the Macron here. So bear with me for a minute. When I left my country of origin, when I left Congo, quite a lot of our photos, documentation, even school degree were destroyed. So if you ask me also to provide 30 years of imagery about myself being a boy, I might not be able to be honest with you. I might not be able to. I don't think I will be able to provide evidence that proving without a shadow of a doubt a picture of me as a man. So there's that as well. There's a side where I can understand where Brigitte might not be able to provide all the pictures in case she also came from Congo. So yeah, I'm just throwing that out there.
Multiple scandals regarding pedophilia that have just engulfed his presidency, and they are going after journalists. And to be clear, these were mainstream journalists, not far-right podcasters or however it's being presented in the media today, that were simply trying to do a biography on the First Lady. They were supporters of her. They were feminists. They wanted to basically glorify her as the president's wife, and they fell down a dark hole. Condé Nast journalists, by the way. They fell down a dark hole because they felt suddenly that they weren't able to get any answers to their basic questions. This was a mainstream issue in France. And so I think you do yourself a disservice when you misrepresent it as if I'm just like sitting here going, la, 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 she's wearing a wig. Show the real excerpts from the Becoming Brigitte series. It's incredibly compelling.
No, I saw that.
Even you could ignore that. It's strange. It's strange. Like 30 years of it. Why would you go through all this effort when you could just drop photos of 30 years of your life where you allegedly had 3 children? Where are your children, by the way?
Allegedly had 3 children.
Wouldn't your children come out, Piers, and defend you by just dropping pictures of their childhood with you? You know her children won't do that, and yet miraculously those same children do
Candace,
drop photos of their father?
All right, Candace, let me present another series of explanations for what's happened here.
Sure.
I believe, and maybe I'm wrong, all right? So let me put that caveat at the start here. Maybe you're
wrong, because I believe you're wrong.
All right, okay? I don't think you are. I think you've been hoodwinked by these journalists who have gone on a complete fantasy trail of nonsense, trying to suggest Brigitte Macron never had 3 children, is a man, it's all a lie, and all the stuff that you've been doing on your channel, and getting huge traffic for and making tons of money. So if you're right, it's been a magnificent display of fearless journalism exposing a bombshell revelation about the First Lady of France. I absolutely make no bones about that whatsoever. But if you're wrong, as I believe, I genuinely believe you're wrong, then it leaves 2 avenues of explanation for why you would pursue this so aggressively. One, you've been duped by these French journalists. And secondly, worse, that you kind of know it's not true, but you've ridden the wave of conspiracy theory about it because it's been so lucrative and it's gone around the world, like you've been saying. And I think that is why they're suing you, because ultimately they know that you've been amplifying this massively more than the journalists had in France, getting way more global traction. And it boils down to one simple fact, not photographs, as you keep trying to distract me with, but a sex test. If on day one of this case, she just produces an actual sex test report that says she's a woman, you're going to realize in that moment you've been completely duped. What do you do then?
So, guys, welcome to the show. Today we're discussing this matter pertaining to Candace Owens. Just switch it, to Candace Owens. So, I believe that this, what can I say? This whole story concerning Candace Owens versus the Macron. If you don't know about the story, what we're talking about right now, is a story whereby the president of France, the Macron, sued Candace Owens. They sued her because of what she said against Brigitte, who is the wife of Emmanuel Macron. So allegedly, according to Candace Owens, actually, and also a bunch of journalists in France, Brigitte Macron was born a male, but she transitioned to a female. But that is not even the big issue, guys, because there's nothing against transgenders and stuff like that here. That is, the issue is not that. The issue is the fact that Brigitte Macron herself denied that allegations, and she said she was born a female. And Candace Owens also believed, allegedly, that the children of the Macron, they were not their children, but they are children of somebody else. And Brigitte was born as another dude, and they took over the identity of the sister who passed away. Those are the allegations at the moment. So you have to understand that Candace Owens has been called out by many people as being insane, as being conspiracy theorist. And whether you love Candace Owens or not, she just has this tremendous energy, and she has this way of bringing ideas to the front that makes you think, that makes you evaluate certain thoughts, certain situations. So I do believe that that's what is at hand right now. See, if you are not asking the hard questions, you're probably not getting the real answers. And here you see somebody who asks the hard questions, Candace Owens, and who search for the answer. And that does not make you popular. Stories like this don't make you popular, guys. So I appreciate you guys for joining, but you need to understand that these are not stories that are popular. I'm reporting on this particular story because it is the big story that is affecting not only the US, because Candace Owens is in the US, but also most of the people in Europe, because most of the people in Europe, they get ostracized for just talking about these stories. They get censored, they get silenced. That's why, because of how massive, how big Candace Owens is, she's able to have the ability to defend and fight back against those so-called bullies, really, that are coming after her. So let's continue this story.
I said, you are asking people at home to suspend their common sense and to truly believe that rather than answering yes or no questions, rather than maybe at first going after the author of the book, Xavier Poussard, who is a Frenchman, for defamation, that would be the first thing. Why don't you launch, at least at the same time, both of these suits? I'm going to go after Candace and Xavier Poussard. They are instead only going after me for defamation and not the person who sourced this entire quote unquote rumor. There is, let me tell you, Piers, too many people who have watched this series, okay? They're watching your show now and they know that you are not accurately presenting what has happened here. But also, Piers, I think you are better than defending a pedocriminal network, right? And that's the biggest piece of the story, is how many people around them have gone down, publicly admitted that they were pedophiles and were involved in this campaign at the beginning. Even if you removed the allegation, which I believe from the bottom of my heart, like I said early on, I would stake my entire career on the notion that she was actually born Jean-Michel Trogneau. I believe that, right? And I'm willing to go through this because it's an important story about government deception. But even if you suspended that, you are right now defending a government that lied even about the beginning of their quote unquote love story, in which his parents removed him from school because of this creepy 40-year-old teacher who found a 14-year-old student to be sexy or attractive. This is wrong. Everything that's happening right now in France is wrong, and it is perverted. And as a mother, I will stand up to this, and I am confident that we will emerge as the winners of this, because in America, truth is an absolute defense against defamation, and I am telling the truth.
Oh, that's a bombshell. In America, truth is the absolute defense against defamation, and she's telling the truth. Candace Owens she's baiting almost her whole career on this particular story, guys. Let's just move on a little bit, because I don't want to dwell too much on this. Oh, no, I cannot jump that. I cannot skip this. Let's check this out a little bit.
Yeah, it is an absolute defense. And
right.
Massive saying, and definitely prove that you're wrong and have been set out. Do you accept if they do that?
Actual malice
Case to prove that you're wrong and have been systematically lying about it, if you've been doing it deliberately or otherwise, but telling a lie about her, which has obviously caused an enormous amount of hurt, is if they just produce evidence she's a woman. Do you accept if they do that, your whole case disintegrates?
Of course it would disintegrate. Well, first off, no, they would have to prove the actual malice standard in America, which would mean that we knowingly knew this. We went to them with questions and they refused to answer. That is very strange. You're saying you're a victim now because this series came out, and yet you had the power to stop the series when we came to you and said, we're not interested in telling any lies. We actually want to get to the truth of this story. And we asked very simple questions. Did you ever live as a woman named Veronique? I believe, yes, Brigitte Macron, before taking on the identity of Brigitte Trogneau, lived as a woman named Veronique. Why wouldn't you just answer that question and say no? If it gave you so much grief that this rumor was out there, why not respond to that effectively in the 10-year period that you had the time to respond to it? Okay, Brigitte is not a victim. Far from that, I believe Brigitte is actually somebody who has victimized Emmanuel Macron. Emmanuel Macron is pathetic. He's absolutely pathetic for letting this go on for so long. You could easily dispel these rumors. And like I said, we were asking for photos from a 30-year period of Brigitte's life. We were not asking for blood. We were asking for simple answer, yes or no. Could you?
The most interesting thing is that the images put on screen by Piers Morgan is also very revealing. Because, guys, have you seen that when you're watching the news, you're able to pick from the image that shows you how biased that news group is? Pay attention next time you watch the news, the image that shows you how they look like. If it was, let me say, if it was a different independence journalism, if it was Candace Owens' show, let's just use that. I was showing you the pictures of the Macron. She will pick pictures that will show Brigitte as a man or in an uncomfortable position or looking a bit ugly. If you do it on CNN or on Piers Morgan, in this case, she's going to show you pictures that shows Brigitte Macron being a bit more feminine. And look at this picture. Nobody can deny that she looks a bit feminine. I mean, an old one, but feminine, you know. And you have to understand that the Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron, Brigitte was approaching Macron when Macron was 14 and Brigitte was, 40 years old. Let us just think about it.
You show us some photos of you raising your alleged children. They failed to produce that and now are pretending that they're victims. And of
but
course,
they're under
it's
no
backfiring.
Obligation. Candace.
Right,
Candace,
they're not, but don't then complain
obligation.
and say you had to file a lawsuit. They contacted us, Piers. You're under no obligation.
They
we didn't
say,
reach out to them.
They
reached out to us first.
Hang on. They say they made it crystal clear to you that all your claims were wrong, right? That your basic premise that she's a man is wrong. They said they told you that before. You went ahead anyway. You've carried on. Even when they launched the lawsuit, you've carried on saying the same stuff, right? And it's a massive play on your part. Listen, I admire your balls. I mean, it's probably the wrong term to use given the issue we're discussing. But I do admire your balls, right? Because you're going for it and you're doubling and trebling and quadrupling down. But ultimately, your entire reputation is now directly linked, it seems to me, to whether Brigitte Macron is male or female. And if she proves she's a woman, where does that leave you?
If she was going to prove she was a woman, she would have done it over the last 10 years. And like
ago.
I said, they came to us first and we said, we will not publish this series if you answer questions. Okay. So they were on the offense in that moment. I didn't go to them and go, I deserve a response to this. They had their lawyers email us speaking about this question. And so I have been completely honest and transparent with my audience. This matters to me because I'm a mother, and there are too many people around them that have been charged with pedophilia, many who have admitted that they were pedophiles, not even just pedophiles, incestuous pedophiles, people that molested their children that are surrounding them. Even the lawyers that they're dealing with are lawyers that defend pedophile and incest, preferring it to as happy incest when children are molested by their fathers. That's their current lawyer who has attached himself to this case in France, Eric Dupont-Moretti. Everywhere you look, you see a story regarding incest and pedophilia that surrounds this couple. I have presented that to the public. And if you are going to pretend that they have not lied, Piers, a couple of weeks ago, when Brigitte smacked Emmanuel Macron on camera on the plane, the Élysée Palace answered and said that it was Russian propaganda and that it never happened. They lie all the time. It's very easy to lie in France, where they have laws against speech and laws against cyberbullying and where journalists are afraid. It's not so easy to lie in America. I'm glad they brought this to my turf because now
she did that to him in front of the journalist.
Now the French people are watching and cheering, knowing that this couple has lied to them from the very beginning. They are due for an exposure. And no, I do not believe that she is going to be able to now or willing to suddenly prove that she is a woman when she could have done that for the last 8 years.
Okay, tell me about the phone call from Donald Trump in which he tried to get you to drop all this.
Yeah, certainly. I received a phone call, and to be clear, this was on the very same day that Emmanuel Macron visited the White House, ostensibly to discuss Ukraine and Russia. I received a phone call at first from a third party saying that, and what I was told was that Emmanuel Macron, who was negotiating in good faith regarding an end to the Ukraine and Russia war, which would have required his signature on some EU stuff, was holding up stuff because he wanted Trump to speak to me, to get me to stop talking about Brigitte Macron. Again, very odd measure when we already said that we would stop speaking about Brigitte Macron. If you had simply answered our questions, you could have stopped this. And then the next day, or maybe it was within 48 hours, I received a phone call from Trump himself. He obviously was not following the series. He is not someone who I think watches a bunch of podcasting shows, but he said he was very confused when Emmanuel Macron took him to the side of a car and brought this up, asked him if he knew him, asked me to stop speaking about his wife, wanted him to get in touch with me to make that happen. Again, that's an extraordinary effort for a state leader to get on a plane and speak to another state leader to shut up a podcaster in America when all you have to do to dispel the rumors is to tell the truth and answer the questions. It's so easy. It's so easy to do that. I would never let it get to a point where I had to sue
what did you say to Trump?
Podcaster in France. Well, I told him in the short run while they were having those negotiations that I wouldn't say anything, which is why we didn't report on it for, I think it was about 4 months or 5 months later. And that then afterwards, once they were done having those discussions, that I would reach out again and tell the person that I was going to speak about it publicly on my platform, because obviously I believe in free speech.
I also believe in free speech. So we spoke about this in a couple of shows ago, about this particular situation. So, and I just thought, let me bring it to your attention, guys, so you can hear yourself from the, as they say, from the mouth of the host, okay? So now, let me just move forward a little bit and longer. No, let's just finish it. Let's just finish it, because I think it's important that we just finish it all the way. Let's finish it.
I mean, it's a fascinating situation that you've got a world leader coming after a podcaster. That on its own is fascinating.
Crazy.
But it's because you have such a big following, and because they believe, from my understanding, that unlike the French journalists, where they were getting a small amount of traction but not very much, it's only when you embraced this wholeheartedly and began to do this as a big series on your very popular show and channel that at that point they realized this was going around the world and they had to do something about it. And they've launched this unprecedented act. I just can't, I mean, look, again, I might be wrong, but I cannot imagine a scenario where the president and the first lady of France launch an action like this unless they are 100% certain that they are right, that she is a woman.
Okay,
if they were right, why didn't just release document? Because this costs more energy and create more fuss than just showing evidence that she's a woman. Come on.
Can you
Why would they
answer
take the
why?
risk?
Because you're saying it's because I'm big. They've gone after small journalists, right? They just lost in the upper courts against the initial journalist that brought this forward for defamation. If you lost this on your home court, why would you take this lawsuit overseas? It doesn't make any sense, right? There had to have been some evidence presented, which they only presented an expired ID, which is completely ridiculous, an expired voting ID. So you're telling me that you're not going to go after, you lose in the journalist on your home court, but you take this now overseas because I'm a bigger journalist. And to be clear, peers, Xavier Poussard, they did launch a legal action against him on the same day they launched a legal action against me, okay? But they're not suing him for defamation. They are suing him for cyberbullying. So I got all of my information sourced from Xavier Poussard's book. I did a presentation on Xavier Poussard's book, and yet you don't go after Xavier Poussard for defamation, and he lives in France. Why is that? The answer to that question is because Xavier Poussard has been on the offense against them. He won in the courts to have her SCHRUK, which is Sacred Heart, is where Brigitte Macron allegedly went to school. In
She said what? Excuse me. She said what now?
Poussard has been on the offense against them. He won in the courts to have her SCHRUK, which is Sacred Heart, is where
Sacred Heart, sacré, cœur, cœur sacré, cœur sacré, sacré cœur, cœur sacré.
Brigitte Macron allegedly went to school in high school. He won for them to release the, we would call it in America, a yearbook, which would have had a photo of Brigitte Macron in it. The school is refusing to give it to him. So the court would have to at first acknowledge the actions that this brave journalist brought against Brigitte Macron to expose this story before they would acknowledge her actions against him. They are being very cunning in how they're dealing with this. They launched this lawsuit because they failed in their first defamation efforts. So they thought if they launched an even bigger lawsuit as a PR move, and to be clear, peers, this is not all that they've done. We have evidence that they hired a crisis PR team here in the United States before I launched my first episode of Becoming Brigitte.
To go against
when they
Candace
were in
Owens.
communication with us back in January, they used a UK firm, and they contacted that UK firm and had them go out to find a crisis PR team in America ahead of my series. Why would you do that?
That's crazy.
It's completely crazy. You're in contact with us. You have the power to stop this series.
Wow.
All right. If, as I believe, you are completely wrong and you end up losing this case, would you accept that everything you've been doing, if she establishes to the world she is a woman, that everything you've been doing would constitute, in that eventuality, a very cruel, vindictive campaign of bullying against a woman, challenging
I want to be
her
very clear. I
existence
would have
as a
never
woman?
done this. Like I said, I was not interested in being the crusader against this because I went to them and I said, if you answer these questions, we will not run the series. I'm only interested in truth. I only went after the story because I was shocked by the pedocriminal network which surrounds them. It's shocking, okay? There are real children being harmed right now in Paris, and there are real citizens that are being gaslit about these circumstances. I don't know many people who can say, all of my homies are pedophiles, but it just keeps happening by accident. This is a very big story in France, and the people in France are behind me for a reason, peers. Like I said, this would not have been a globally impactful series if I was just up there flipping my hair saying, well, it kind of looks like her wig is bad. We presented a lot of evidence. Xavier presented a lot of evidence. And I believe in my heart of hearts that she is not only a groomer and a creep for the relationship that she began with Emmanuel Macron when he was just a student and 14 years old in that play, but also that they are liars that are leading this country, France, down the drain. Truly, I believe this in my heart that Brigitte Macron was born a man, was born a child, actually not a man, but born a male named Jean-Michel Trogneau. And everything that they have done has only further led me to that conclusion because they are not behaving as though truth is on their side. You don't try to silence journalists.
Well, last time we discussed this on Uncensored, I bet you $150,000 that you were wrong and that she's a woman. On X, when we discussed this further, I doubled it. This is for charity, to $300,000. You haven't accepted that yet. So right now,
We only have your word of it for it that you are a woman. Ask for your ludicrous and a very hurtful to her and her family claims about Brigitte Macron's biology. Today's court ruling, as you know, is irrelevant. So let's make it 300K if you can afford it. Because and this was a reaction to what Candace Owens said. Obviously, Piers Morgan owes me 150,000, and I'm ready to collect. It was never defamation. It was a witch hunt. Legally speaking, the only proof Brigitte Macron is a woman is her word that she is. There is tons of proof, however, that she lived as a man before. And Piers Morgan just replied to that message here, obviously. We only have your word for it that you are a woman. Doesn't make sense. As for your ludicrous and very hurtful to her and her family claims about Brigitte Macron's biology, today's court ruling, as you know it, is irrelevant. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what Candace is going to answer to this one.
$100,000 to charity. I say she's a woman. Are you prepared to take that bet?
I am 1,000% prepared to take that bet. I actually didn't see your tweet, or I would have accepted it live. So we can totally accept that bet.
Okay,
I believe Brigitte Macron is a male, and that they will not be presenting any evidence to the contrary because they would have done it already.
But this says it all. Hate her or not, she stands behind a word. There are many people in this point that have benched, that have run away. They say, forget it. This is not worth it. But she's going against Piers Morgan, who is coming against her. And this guy is known for flipping sides as it suits him. And she's standing her ground against a leader of a state. Come on, man. Tell me if you ever faced something like this, you're still standing like she is. Wow.
Okay, Candace, I appreciate you coming on Uncensored. I think you're completely wrong, but we shall see. I think
Of course, he thinks she's wrong. Of course, he does think she's wrong, guys. So, guys, let's take a moment to just dissect this for a bit. Candace Owens says, I believe Brigitte Macron is a woman. Everybody in the whole world has the right, the freedom to say that. She believes he's a man. Thank you for that. Candace Owens believes Brigitte is a man, not a woman. And everyone in the world can say that about anybody. Any one of you out there can come and say, Gloria, I believe you are a woman. You can say it. Just because you say it doesn't make it the truth. Just because you make that claim and you pay money to print a billboard, or you put it on the highway and you say, Gloria, you are a woman. First of all, it doesn't make it a truth. Secondly, my reaction matters. I can choose to go against that and fight you in court and do those things and fight you in court for harassment, for slander and all those things. Or simply, I can just ignore it because it doesn't matter, it's not true. It's literally not true. And you can say because she's in the public office, that's why it matters. No, it doesn't still. Because if she's a woman, she will not care about if somebody says she's a man. It's not the worst thing that people have ever said against them. It's also a price to pay to be in public eye. Is that people will always hate on you. People will say things and they will throw all kind of stones at you that might not be true. But then she thought she's going to put out a fire by pouring gasoline on it. And they went after, Candace want to make even a valuable point here by saying that if she is a woman, why they are going in so much effort to trying to censor her, trying to silence her. If she is indeed a woman, why just not prove it right there and then? You might say, Glory, how? There's a many way to prove you're a woman. First of all, DNA tests in the hospital can just simply justify that. Candace Owens also make another point. He said, Say what?
They can fake that.
Okay, DNA test can be fake. But Candace Owens offered and say, you know what? You want to prove to us you're a woman? I'll send my doctors to France and will come and take a DNA test and prove it to the whole world. Candace Owens does not mind being wrong. But all she's fighting for, she said, is that I'm fighting because this has to do with the future of my children as well. So I'm fighting against all this hypocrisy and this fallacy of people in the swamp thinking that they can just throw any lie at us and we just have to eat it and swallow it and believe that is truth and nothing but the truth. So this is a very peculiar situation right now, and I'm curious how it's going to develop. But Candace Owens has bet her whole career on this one, because you have to understand what this cost this woman. You have to understand the price you have to pay when a leader of a state, a president of a country like France is coming after you. That's crazy. Some of you out there can't even dream about it. I'm telling you. You can take me off screen. You can take the switch the screen. So I believe that the situation at end, guys, proves to us that if you're going to make a claim, if you're going to say something, if you're going to say something about anyone in the world today, have the balls to stand your ground and say, yes, I stand for what I believe. I'm standing for what I'm saying. There are many people, many even Christians, are not able to stand for the word they call the Bible. But Candace Owens, there are many things I do not agree on with her, especially against the Jews. Her stand on that. But on this one, I'm just curious. Because then, this is the most funny thing. When, by any chance, she comes out to be right, many people like this one, oh my goodness, I cannot wait to show you the evidence about Piers Morgan, how he's going to change. I cannot wait to show you how he's going to change. You wait and see. Our next story, guys, of today, I would like us to touch grounds on one and only the former VP of the US, who we all hoped that now she left the office, she will stay out of the office, because when she was there, she was not adding anything. She was not adding any value. Instead, she was running away from anything concerning her responsibility. So when she left the office, we thought finally this is behind her. She can rest, spend time with her family, not have to deal with this shenanigan anymore. But then she came back with a book. Check this out. A short interview.
To be.
Democrats at this point are historically divided. It is a complete and utter mess. It is messier than a hoarder's basement. What are we talking about here? The national early poll leader, 25% plus. Normally, that's where Democrats are. Biden was at 25% plus in 2020. Hillary Clinton was in 08 and 16. Gore was in 00 and 04. At this particular point, there is no one in the Democratic race for president who's polling at 25% plus. The water is quite warm. If you're a Democrat potentially thinking about running in 2028, jump right in, because at this point, there is no front runner.
Well, we're now a year on from the brat summer and 9 months on from the presidential election. But the Democrat currently being talked about the most is Kamala Harris. She's announced she won't run to be governor of California, perhaps because she still has one eye on a loftier office, and she's back with a new book.
I mean, there's a lot of personal stuff in the book. I mean, poor Dougie.
Poor Dougie. Those cackling laughs that the ones got in trouble in the first place, man, because she's supposed to be the VP. Imagine this person be the president of a country. Whoa. Imagine that.
You're blowing the lid off of Doug? What's going on?
For example, my birthday's in October. The election's in November. You see where I'm going?
No, we don't see where you're going.
And Dougie kind of dropped the ball on my big birthday.
Oh, how did you do that? Tell us.
Oh, you have to read the book.
Can't wait to read that one.
That's all she's been saying about that crazy book of ours. She'll come and tell you, oh my God, there's this amazing story that I have to tell you that I've written in the book. It's amazing. And then they say, oh, what is the story about? Oh, no, you got to read the book. You got to read the book. So, guys, this is crazy. Y'all got to read the book, okay? We're going to go to the next segment. I just wanted to drop you a little bit about our one and only, our one and only VP VP of the year. So now, guys, we're moving to, okay, this story is very particular because this only happened in the US for sure. This is a story about a guy called, I think I was going to show you from a different source concerning this particular story. No, before we move on, let's check this. Let's first check this story of the VP. Not yet, you're too soon, but it's fine. Let's check this out. You gotta read the book.
You made an announcement that you're not running for the governor of California.
Correct.
Even though in early polling you beat every other candidate by double digits,
Yeah.
you said you're going to sit this one out. Why are you sitting this out? Are you saving yourself for a different office that might be?
No.
That's what everybody obviously.
I know, but
I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know why you would cheer for that.
but honestly,
Obviously, people project onto
no,
their
I
hopes and
understand.
dreams.
And honestly, that it's more perhaps basic than that. Listen, I am a devout public servant. I have spent my entire career in service of the people. And I thought a lot about running for governor. I love my state. I love California. I've served as just elected district attorney, attorney general, and senator. But to be very candid with you, you know, when I was a young in my career, I had to defend my decision to become a prosecutor with my family. And one of the points that I made is, why is it then when we think we want to improve a system or change it, that we're always on the outside on bended knee or trying to break down the door? Shouldn't we also be inside the system? And that has been my career. And recently I made the decision that for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I think it's broken. I think there's so much, I mean, there are so many good people who are public servants, who do such good work, teachers and firefighters and police officers and nurses and scientists. Scientists,
guys.
And so it's not about them, but, you know, I believe, and I always believed, that as fragile as our democracy is, our systems would be strong enough to defend our most fundamental principles. And I think right now that they're not as strong as they need to be, and I just don't want to, for now, I don't want to go back in the system. I want to travel the country, I want to listen to people, I want to talk with people.
Privilege. This is the same system she's talking about that offered her to run for the office when she was not even elected for it, offered her on the silver platter, gave her so much money to run with, and she lost all of it. That's the system she's saying is broken. Crazy. Insane. Next. Let's move on from this story, guys. You make up your mind about that one. So, the next story that I have for you guys, I'm not sure if I want to talk about this one. I am not sure. Okay, there is these things that's happening around the world, especially now more than ever, of young people, and you young people, thinking that being aggressive, it proves how strong, how masculine, or even get you the girls. I don't know. But there's this attitude of aggression that is going on. Even you see children are even copying that. It is crazy. And the next story is another example of when young people choose to go and do something ridiculous, something crazy that it's just beyond imagination. Thinking about this time, day and age, that another young person has to defend somebody in need, and this is what happened to them. This story is going to blow your mind, guys, and I'm telling you, it's going to love it. Check this story out.
Her Doge employee was brutally beaten in the nation's capital.
Truly unbelievable. Lucas Thomason joins us live in Washington. Lucas, these type of attacks have been happening for years now.
They sure have, Lawrence. Good morning also to Ainsley and Griff. For those eating breakfast, the image that we just showed you and we're about to show you again is tough to watch. The 19-year-old former Doge staffer known as Big Balls was beaten by a violent mob of minors in the nation's capital in a popular part of town, according to police. A 15-year-old man and a 15-year-old woman were arrested and charged with unarmed carjacking. The attack prompted President Trump to post, Crime in Washington, D.C. is totally out of control. Local youth and gang members, some only 14, 15, and 16 years old, are randomly attacking, mugging, maiming, and shooting innocent citizens. The most recent victim was beaten mercilessly by local thugs. Trump warned if crime is not dealt with properly, he may be forced to take over.
Somebody from Doge was very badly hurt last night. You saw that. A young man who was beat up by a bunch of thugs in D.C. And either they're going to straighten their act out in the terms of government and in terms of protection, or we're going to have to federalize and run it the way it's supposed to be run.
Now, this summer, Edward Korestein, the former Doge lieutenant known as Big Ball, spoke to our own Jesse Waters. Elon Musk reacting to the attack on his platform X, saying, quote, "A few days ago, a gang of about a dozen young men tried to assault a woman in her car at night in D.C. A Doge team member saw what was happening, ran to defend her, and was severely beaten to the point of concussion. But he saved her. It is time to federalize D.C." Here's a look at those recent attacks this summer. Back in May, a House staffer was the victim of an armed carjacking in the Navy Yard next to Nats Park. In July last month, a congressional intern was murdered in a crossfire from a drive-by shooting. And now, Big Ball's left bloodied after this attack. President Trump says he wants gang members over the age of 14 to be prosecuted as adults, guys.
No, you have to, guys, I just wanted to bring this story to you because one thing we need to understand that this is not the solution. Aggression behavior, it is never the key to achieving anything. Why are you going to attack young women? You see this a lot on social media. You see young boys attacking, beating up a young girl at schoolyards or place. I'm like, what happened to being gentlemen? Are we going to blame feminism for this as well? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You tell me, guys. What's going on in our society? Doge is obviously, the story is not this man, let me say, this man was not attacked because it was part of Doge. And Doge was a Department of Government Efficiency in the U.S. Department of Government Efficiency in the U.S. It was in charge. It was being led by Elon Musk, in charge of reducing deficit, reducing financial debts that the United States had. So, and their charge was also to go through the United States and see where money is being wasted and trying to save as much money as possible so they could pay as much of their debts or bring more money in the country. That's what Doge was charged for those who may not know, Department of Government Efficiency. So, and it was being run by many young people. They're working together with Elon Musk. Elon Musk brought in a group of very smart young people to help their country to bring down debts, to reduce debts, so that the United States government will be able to invest more money in their own country instead of instead of giving money outside or people that do not deserve it, because many of the money was being given to people who do not deserve it, and many of the money obviously, like we know, many politicians, it was being used money laundering. They said they would send this amount of money to Ukraine, and Ukraine said we only receive maybe a quarter of it, and the rest will just circle back into the pockets of those bureaucrats. So that's what Doge is. And this young man, just also, it's important to mention, the young man was not attacked because he was part of Doge. He has nothing to do with it. He was attacked because he stepped up to defend a young woman who was being attacked by tens of young people. So it doesn't make sense. So he was beaten mercilessly like that. Why is this becoming a trend? Violence. Where is this coming from? This idea that we can only solve anything by violence. This idea that we can just be a people that kill each other, destroy each other, vandalize and attack each other. Where is this coming from? This is a question I'm asking you all viewers. Where do you think this is coming from? Because this idea is just crazy. And what can we do about it, guys? What can we do about this? Because I cannot believe that we live in a society today that we see the only way to solve an issue, to solve a particular issue, is by attacking one another. So, guys, I believe we get to the time today where we need to. There's a bunch of story to deal with today. My God. So this is another story that in this context of this young man that was attacked from Doge. This is another story that connects well with this that I thought, let me just show you guys, because before we move on, is another example of aggression. Because for some reason we think in society the only way we can solve anything today is by being aggressive, by being very cunning and destructive. So this is another young lady I'm just going to go through it quickly, that learned the hard way that that's not the way society has to work or should work or is working.
You're going back downtown anyway, let me do your roundabout. He was like, you can't stay on my bus. I said, okay, that's fine. When you get to your last stop, I'll get off the bus and I'll get back on. He told me to get off the bus, and I got off the bus. I tried to get back on. He completely just left. And he could have just took me downtown. Like, why he make it so hard like that? So, he could have just took me downtown. Come up here. I hope his ass get murdered. Give a shit. I don't.
Did you hear what she said? Pay attention what she said when she's walking away.
He could have just took me downtown. Come up here. I hope his ass get murdered.
Did you hear that? I hope his ass get murdered. How is that First of all, she's saying that in front of the police officers, right? Secondly, how is that the solution? How did you get from he could have just been kind to me to take me downtown? Why does he have to make things difficult, acting like a victim, to the point where I hope his ass get murdered? That's a threat in the US. I think also in Europe, that's literally a threat. So, and for this reason, this young lady was not banned for the rest of her dear life, but was refused to get in any buses today. Tomorrow, when she cooled down, she can get in the buses, but she was refused to get in any buses today because of her language, because of the threat. She threatened the bus driver. And this made her go ballistic. This made her
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I paid for a monthly bus pass.
You're not allowed to ride the bus today. You made threats towards the bus driver.
You hear that? That's a police officer says that.
You're not going to get on the bus.
I don't want to get on the bus.
Actually,
I missed work.
You have to get off the
I
property.
walked 2 hours back home. I missed work.
Then walk.
I don't care.
You're not allowed on the property. See you later. Have a good day. Don't push it today. It's not my call. You made threats.
I don't
Get
care.
off the property.
I'm not in arrest. I don't care. I'll get out in 4 hours. I don't give a shit.
You get out tomorrow, though.
That's fine. I don't care.
All right.
You see,
come here.
You see how reasonable this officer is being with her. Because on this point, her attitude is out of control. I'm just going to skip it. Her attitude is out of control. And she went on insulting, throwing all this slur. And I'm like, how do we solve anything in a society today? And to the point as if her words were not weapon enough, she went on and just used a stick, I guess. Like they say, stick and stone. Stick and stone may break my bone, but word will never hurt me. But on this point, she went for real stick. She's trying to get on the bus. The officer is refusing her. Tell her, get off the property.
You're on the property. Get off.
Get away from me.
You see what she did, guys? This is the most craziest thing that what she did it. And this she's doing it to a police officer. Guess what she did? What did she do here in the studio? What's that? Studio, they say she threw her phone to the officer. No. She did not throw her phone. And I'm curious, before you watch what I say here, what you guys think she did. Honestly, drop in the chat what you think she did. But as I'm going to tell you what she did here, she decided to pepper spray the police officer. Crazy. She decided to jump to pepper spray the officer.
Transit 1.
And then she took off.
Transit 1.
Transit 1, go ahead.
Give me a card out here. I just been pepper sprayed. Black female. Black top, black bottom. She got white in her hair. Going in the big house. I can't see.
And that, of course, caused the whole
Come here, young lady. What happened?
explosion of officers to come at the scene. And then, ladies, come on, man. When you've done something ridiculous, when you've done something crazy, why do you start crying? Is it like a coping mechanism, like you don't understand why you went as far as did what you did, that's why you're crying because you're overwhelmed? Or is it, as what we often think is as men, or is emotional manipulation? Why? Why do you jump into crying when you know you did something crazy? I don't get it.
All right, come on over here. Put your hands on the car for me. Where's the mace at? Put your hands behind your back.
7.
Okay.
10-7.
She's in custody. No one else is needed. Go ahead and start making folks in or washed out. Also, send one over to Officer Johnson.
She pepper sprayed an officer. What do you think is going to happen? And they were still kind toward her.
No, actually, I do. You want to hold on to her?
Look what's going to happen to her. They were still kind because of spraying. The spray also got in her eyes, she said.
He's just on the other side of
She
Al.
claimed. So they went here and they started pouring water in her face to get off the.
All right, you want to tilt your head to
paper
the side?
She did not want to tilt on the side, so they pour water in her.
Let's start blinking.
I can't open my eyes this moment. It's okay.
24 Officer Johnson. All right, I got some more.
Why?
24 Johnson. I'm good. It's good. It's good.
You don't need anyone?
I'm
Okay.
fine.
Hey, they are very kind, this officer.
All right, I tell you what, we're going to get you in the car then. If you're good. All right?
I wonder the time before
They took her
we had
over.
body
Yeah.
cams, how the officer would have handled a situation like this. So basically, she got arrested because of that, and the other officer got pepper spray. You're wondering how is he doing? Here's how he's doing.
Yeah, I'm good. Pepper sprayed you? Yeah, she got me in the eye. I mean, she got me right in the right eye.
All right, let's get you checked out, man.
Yeah. So,
You need to get checked out. I'm going to take you up to the hospital. You want me to take you up there?
I'm going to get checked. I just got to get this out of my eyes. You know what pepper spray is?
Oh, yeah. Pepper spray.
I mean,
So she's going for ag bad against you?
yeah. Were you here when I told Jared what she had done?
No.
Just basically, she made some general threats towards the bus drivers, so they asked to have her removed for the day to come back tomorrow, so I was talking to her about it, and she got upset, and eventually she just popped me with pepper spray for no reason, so she was just mad at the situation.
To be honest with you, as from the footage that we see, she pepper sprayed him for no reason, because literally she had no reason to pepper spray him. The guy was not threatening her, was not attacking her. And she just did it maybe just because she thought she could get away with it. I don't know. Man, maybe she was just not thinking. This is insane.
I got a towel for Candace Owens.
You got one? You got a towel?
Very good.
Thank you.
That's yours, man. I'm sorry. I need paperwork on you.
All right.
Let me just move on a little bit on her.
Oh, perfect.
And I'm coming back up here to get that bus driver.
Listen, guys, listen, please listen what she just said next. My goodness. Listen, y'all. We need to learn to shut up. You need to learn to shut up. Because you are making threats. You are making threats. You are in the cop car. You are on the cameras. You are making threats against an officer. Maybe in the US you get away with it, but here, listen what she's saying.
I said, I'm coming back up here as soon as I get out of jail. I'm gonna come back up here and I'm gonna finish what I didn't get a chance.
It's not against the officers. She's making the threat. She's making the threat against the bus driver. She said when she get out of jail, she's gonna go and finish what she did not get a chance to finish. You know what I mean?
I don't care.
Yeah, you will care very soon.
62 copy relocate with this female suspect at the big house lot. So now the ambulance is over here.
Do you want us to let them handle the booking for whatever's going to go happen? I'll take you down to the station, get a shower or something.
That's fine.
Get the shit off you.
Yeah.
Where's your car locked up, secured here?
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, let's get you down to the station.
Okay.
We'll take care of the
All right.
I got him.
All right.
I'll get with Wyatt. We'll figure out what we need to do.
All right.
You need to wash all this shit off.
Thanks.
That's so sad.
She was all upset.
He's
Hey,
also
I'm going
upset.
to take him down so he can shower the shit off, all right?
Language, man.
All right, so what do you got for her? Ag bad?
Just ag bad to me.
What was the initial? Well, it doesn't matter. We just toss it afterwards. If you want to dip your head in one of the showers and use that.
Can you tell that supervisor? Excuse me. Can you tell that supervisor that her bus driver is gonna get it when I get out of jail? Okay. I got the officer because he got in my way, but I'm coming back. I won't stop until that bus driver get it. So.
You're going to be banned from the property.
I don't give a shit. I'll come back and I'll get arrested. I don't care. I have nothing to lose. That bus driver got me fired from my job, so I have nothing. Literally, he can kill me. I don't give a shit. I have nothing. And they're always f***ing with people, but when you f*** with people who got shit to lose, I really do not give a f***. I'm coming back. I swear to
This is
God.
really sad.
I don't care. Nope, I'm coming back. I am coming back. I don't need medical. I'm fine.
What's that?
I don't need medical. I'm fine.
Can we get a set of vitals on?
No.
What?
I got she wasn't pepper sprayed. I think she rubbed her eyes with her hand. I got something to flush out your eyes if you want.
No, my eyes are fine. I had just a little bit in there because I wiped my tears. It's fine.
No. I did a quick flush. All right.
This is insane. This is insane, people. And these are the things we say when we're in emotions. Maybe she's saying this in the heat of the moment. Later on, she's going to regret it. I don't know. But this is crazy, man.
Stop, because he got me fired. Tell him that.
And she went on and on.
And I'm coming back, and I don't care. I don't care, and I'm coming back. I have nothing to lose. I'm coming back.
There's somebody behind you.
Hey, stop doing it.
At another church, I don't care.
Okay. Stop doing that.
He needs to know. He needs to know.
He can't hear you.
You're gonna fucking get it. I hope you get murdered. You're gonna fucking get it. I hope someone fucking murder your ass. You're gonna fucking get it. You got me fucking fired. I hope you fucking get murdered. You're gonna fucking get it. I'm coming fucking back for you. I swear to God.
Stop kicking my car.
I don't care. Arrest me for 33 fucking years. I don't care. I have nothing. I don't.
You normally don't get fired, right, for just missing one day?
Care.
Her being fired might even have nothing to do with the fact maybe she missed the bus, she didn't get to work. Could be just because of that conduct, her behavior. Because behaving like this, man, this is deep. This is not just something that happened on one single day and it just went kaboom. Sister, you need deliverance.
I don't care. I want my weapons back when I leave from the jail. Because there's my property.
Well, use the commission of a crime against police. You don't get it back.
That was self-defense. I was walking on a public sidewalk and he came up towards me.
What?
So you can't take my stuff.
Don't you understand that you were being
He
filmed?
threatened to tase me for walking on the sidewalk, so I have every right to use pepper spray on him.
The woman was arrested and charged.
was arrested and charged. Guys, I'm showing this video just an example of the things you should not do when you're under emotion, when you're under influence of emotions. Let's go. Come on. Let's move on to the next story because it's crazy. The next story, I think we're going to end the show today with this story. Not even that one. Can you change? Switch. Let's go. Yep. My God. Let's check this out, guys. Let's check this story out. Because I'm just walked up with the story about this girl. I'm going to come after you after I get out of jail. So they're taking you to jail because of what you just did. And you're claiming now is a self-defense. But then you keep yelling, I hope your ass get murdered. Then you keep yelling, after I get out of jail, I'm going to come after you. How do you get released from prison? Because when you're making threats like that, maybe that's her whole plan, to make threat so she will not be released out of prison. Could it be, guys? Somebody has to help make sense out of this because me, I don't understand it. How can you make threat like that and then expect the officers to just release you out of jail like, kumbaya, my lord, no, nothing happened here, guys. So, me, I don't get it. So anyway, there's a story that I want to share with you guys, except my system has been a bit acting up. So hopefully just make sure you put the volume down in case I just open up harshly. And it's a powerful story to end the show with of today. So thank you guys for tuning in, for connecting with us today. I know the show of today is a bit different than usual. And yeah, I just thought you guys deserve a good story today. You guys deserve for me to bring this to your attention. Let me see. Is it going to work now? No, for some reason just refused to work this one. What in the world? What in the world? I'm gonna think I'm gonna do this, guys, to show you guys this story. That's been amazing. It's a great story, but my system just refused to play it. Let me try this again. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyway, so we are not gonna finish with that story. Are we not? Yes, we are not going to finish that story. So, guys, the next story that I would like to just go through with you guys is about this one. Officer Tatum is crazy. Check this, guys, out. Check this out.
American democracy, you should be out of here. Gone. No questions asked. F due process.
Yeah, what he said.
Not as a non-citizen who believe in Sharia law and believing that Islam is more important than American democracy, you should be out of here. Gone. No questions asked. F due process. Gone. Any group that don't want to assimilate as one nation under God, get the F out of our country. We don't want you here. You don't deserve to be here. You don't belong here. You need to leave. And we see the biggest culprits are Muslims. And like I said, it's not every Muslim, because I don't know a bad Muslim, personally. But the ones that you're going to see on this video are trying to take over this country.
And it's not only this country. Many are also, many corporates, as you call them, they are also evident here. They are evident in many countries, especially in the Western country. It's not in the Africa, Asia, and so forth. And they do not go in the country that already have Sharia law, but they go in the countries that do not have Sharia laws. And they go there because they say they're threatening their own country where they have Sharia law. They come in this country, they come in our countries, and then instead of assimilate, instead of transforming their ways to fit in with the country's culture, they want to impose their culture, way of living to the country where they came. I'm like, if your culture was that good, why did you leave it behind? Tell me, why did you leave it behind if your culture was that good? I left my country. I came in this country because it was better for me. Okay, it was not my choice. I came when I was young. It was better for me. That's why my parents made a choice. Now I cannot be here trying to impose this country to bring my culture that my parents ran away from here. I might as well just go back where I come from. And that's the point he's making here. If you don't like it here, you don't like our culture, go back to your culture. Is he wrong?
And in their mission statement, it is to spread their ideology across the world until there is nothing but Islam. And the whole world is ruled by Sharia law. Well, not over my dead body. President Trump, if you hear me, deport these people out of this country. They are a threat to this country. Existential threat to America. Pushing Sharia law, pushing all of these. If you want to do the little Allah Akbar stuff, go back to your country and do it. Why are you in America? Go to the Allah Akbar countries and go do your little stuff. You want Sharia law? Go live where there is Sharia law. If you want a Muslim caliphate and you want the society to be run by Muslims, there's plenty of Arab countries that are run by Muslims.
Is he wrong? Is he wrong or is he wrong? This is what he's talking about. Let's check this out, because I'm really ticked off as well by what he's saying. This is correct, because I really, to be honest with you, you have to tell me, because if you think it's wrong.
It's a video, you'll see what I'm saying. Roll it.
When people say, oh my goodness, this Muslim American Society mosque in Philadelphia, we've uncovered videos where the children are singing about chopping the heads off of infidels. And I'm like, I got interviewed by like all of a sudden these national news reporters. Can you believe it? What do you expect them to teach at a mosque? They're teaching Islam. That's part of Islam.
Can we get that video?
Oh my God. Wait, what's that? Excuse me, guys. As I say, my computer has been giving me... No, we're just going to go back a little bit, because you need to read the text. Read the subtitle of what they're saying. And what he's saying is crazy. But because last time I checked, America is a Christian country. You cannot say otherwise. You even Stevie Wonder can see. America was... what the whole constitution, let me say, was founded on a biblical principle. That's why it's even included one nation under God. It was not one nation under God. It was Christian God. So you cannot dispute that. So having Muslims in the US, it is not a right, it's a privilege, I believe. Having Islam in the US, even in other countries in Europe, it's not a right. Unless their country, and you have to think about this. Which other nation you will go to and then force them to accept your belief, your religion, or whatever? Go try that in Iran, Iraq. Go try that in Dubai. Go to Dubai and force them to accept your Christian faith. You see what they're going to tell you. It's a privilege. So if you are in that country, you cannot be singing songs like this by children. Mind you, this show is about children. Listen, this is what children are being, this is called indoctrination one-on-one.
That video?
Watch the subtitles.
سنمدود بالأبشار عن أرض الهدى ونقدم الأرواح دون دواني وسنضرب الأعناق عن أجسادهم ونحرر الأقصى الحزين العاري ونقود جيش الله منجز وعده ونسوق.
And did that mosque get shut down? No. Was there an FBI investigation? No. Did the Philadelphia police open an investigation? No.
talking about chopping off America.
He brags. He said, you complain about it, they change nothing. Because most officers, allegedly, they're pocketing some things that keeps them at bay.
Americans hate in a religious institution, and they just let it go. It's the wussification of men that will cause this nation to fall. I want to say wussy with a P, but y'all know I'm trying to be a good man. It's the wussification. They turn a blind eye because they don't want to offend. F these people. You're not welcome here.
Why should they be?
If you're going to be calling for the death of other American citizens, you don't.
If you're going to be called, let me add, if you're going to be calling for the death of any other people, you are not welcome in any nation. Go back to your nation.
You need to be here. If your religion tells you to hate other people, and you don't call it hate, you just call us the infidel. Like, if that's what you believe and that's what you want to practice, you don't need to be here.
But then, if you call them the infidel, then why come to the country of the infidel? If yours is so better, then stay in your country. Especially if the infidel don't want you.
Roll the clip. Now, how is that acceptable?
Okay, pause. Now, if you try to do that as a Christian here, where I am right now, in this country where I am right now, you'll be arrested for complaint. They call it geluid overlast, though. You'll be arrested for geluid overlast in English, for sound, for noises. How do you call? Yeah, this is proper English for it. You'll be arrested for noise, especially early in the morning. But why is it? How rude.
Inside of your mosque, you could do that.
Oh my God.
But you're broadcasting it out over the sound where everybody who ain't even in your religion has to be subjugated to what your religious practices are. That's not American. And
you're not allowed to do anything about it. That's even as crazy as it is. You're not allowed to do nothing about it because they call it Islamophobia or this name calling that doesn't mean anything anymore. He's mad. Look at his face. He's mad. Officer Tatum is mad about this. Hey, crazy.
So I'm going to teach you a chant in Persian. So it has two meanings depending on the it can mean death to or down with. So can we get a Marbar America? We can get a Marbar America. Yes, we can. Marbar America. Marbar America. Marbar America. Marbar America.
That's a grown-ass man and a little boy. That's it.
I'm just saying, show me another religion where they're saying death to America and joking.
That was a grown-ass man going after a little boy, just so you know. Let's just bring it back a little bit so you can see. This is a big grown-ass man going a young man. And he hold him without stopping. That's so you know.
Religion where they saying death to America and joking about it. Keep playing them.
Feel more comfortable living under American law, or do you feel more comfortable living under Sharia law?
Sharia law. I'm a Muslim. I prefer Sharia law. Sharia law, yes.
You prefer Sharia law over American law?
Of course, yeah. Of course, yeah.
And do you find most of your friends feel the same way?
Yeah, of course. If you're Muslim, yeah.
Sharia law, it says if you steal something, they cut off your hand. So basically, they can leave their stores doors open. Nobody's gonna steal anything because the Sharia is so tight. Usually, they don't do anything. The smallest things usually have big consequences.
He can make his daughter marry somebody.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. He has the authority, you know?
The authority to do that.
Yeah, to do that.
Play the last one.
We're about to experience the Azan here at Masjid Dar al-Hijra.
So they're about to make the Adhan right now. Bismillah.
The historic moment. Welcome to Minneapolis, Minnesota. This is where history was made. This is the first major city in the United States of America where the Adhan can be broadcast, meaning it can be heard outside the masjid on loudspeakers. This is the story of how Minneapolis became the first American city to pass a bill to allow Adhan of all 5 prayers to be heard outside the masjid. How did this happen in America? Why did this happen in Minneapolis? Who were the people behind this? And can this happen all over the US? Historically speaking, the first masjid to be granted the right to call the Adhan on loudspeakers was Masjid Dearborn, the American Muslim Society.
This masjid is the first masjid in the United States to make the call to prayer, the Adhan, publicly outside. We went to the court against the city of Dearborn in 1981 and we won the case.
After that, in 2004, America's first Muslim majority city, Hamtramck, became the second city where Adhan was legalized by the local government when the noise ordinance change was put to a citywide vote. 16 years later, in 2020, the City Council of Patterson, New Jersey, authorized the call to prayer between certain hours of the day. But the difference between Dearborn, Hamtramck, Patterson, and Minneapolis is that Minneapolis is the first major U.S. city where Adhan has become the law. In the Ramadan of 2020 that took place during the pandemic, Muslims of Minneapolis approached the mayor. They took the initiative and the mayor responded positively. The Adhan was broadcast 5 times a day but ended when Ramadan ended. The last year in 2022, the Adhan could be broadcast, but due to the noise ordinance, only between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m., which meant that Fajr and Isha were often excluded. But finally, in 2023, the Adhan of all 5 prayers were ready to be broadcast. History was made when the city of Minneapolis signed into law the Adhan bill, allowing masajid within the boundaries of Minneapolis to openly call the Adhan on loudspeakers.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu
All right, stop it, because I'm finna get mad. I'm just throwing it out there. It's not compatible with the United States of America. If you want to go do the Mallah stuff, then go do that in your own country. Go do that where it originated. Don't come over in America. Let's make this very clear. America is a Christian nation.
That's what I was saying. That's why I always thought.
Now, Christians are tolerable. Well, meaning that they tolerate other people.
Yep.
If this no longer is run by Christians with Christian theology, it's no longer a tolerant nation. Do y'all understand that? Exactly. Christianity tolerates religious freedom. We don't cut your head off because you don't believe in Jesus. But the thing is that if they come over here and take over power, then they will begin to implement their Sharia law. Do we not understand that our country is gone if we allow this to happen?
That's it. And this is not only the U.S. guys. Thank you, Kathy. This is not only the U.S. guys. This is the other countries. Can you check the other computer? This is literally the other country, guys. This is all other countries. They're trying to do this in Europe. They're trying to do this in many other countries here in Europe. How do we let this happen? Just click at it. How do we let this happen? Guys, my name is Gloria and I approve this message. Listen, I even did not go through my notes, so forget it. But before we wrap up, remember, you came here tonight for a reason. Maybe it was this story, maybe it was another story, maybe it was a comment in the chats. Maybe it was just knowing you just want to be part of something, you're not alone. But I want to encourage you guys. Every story we share here is to shine a light. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Because you are not informed, you don't know how to stand. It's not about negativities, but it's about information. You are informed so you know how to stand. You're informed so you know how to pray. You are informed, so you understand what we are up against. Laws are changing, and they're not benefiting our children. They're not benefiting us. Being a Christian does not mean you have to be ignorant about everything else. Because when you're ignorant about laws and you're Christian, you think it's like, they have nothing to do with the politics and everything. That's just the most insane statement I've ever had in my life. Because you might not have anything to do with politics, but politics has everything to do with you. You might say you are not going to do anything about it, but it's going to do everything about you when these people who are fighting the alphabetic mafia and the Muslims, really. And as he said, I also believe it. I don't know a rude or an aggressive Muslim personally. But when you see what's happening out there, it is super scary. Because how Christians are treated in their countries, they want to bring that here. Stop being naive. That's how I'm going to let you with today. So guys, if you have not done so, help us distribute this information. Help us let the whole world know about what's going on as we are doing. Please, by sharing this stream, by liking, by subscribing, that would be amazing. The Glory of Today segment is not available today due to some technical reason, but we'll do that on Friday. Thank you all for connecting again tonight, and I'll see you next time. My name is Glory, by the way, and I approve this message by know one thing. God loves you and Jesus is Lord. See you soon. Shalom.